welcome to this week's flower arranging tutorial. I'm Hannah, and today we're going to work with a nice fun summer palette. This is the first week past Memorial Day, so it's time to have some bold, bright colors, pinks, oranges, yellows, things like that. So to start, I'll tell you a little bit about the flowers that I chose. I chose these Free Spirit roses, which are kind of a type of garden rose, so they have that really nice scent that a lot of other roses don't have. So there's something really special. They also have a really nice dark green foliage, which is always beautiful when you can leave it on. So we have quite a few of those. Also, ornithogallum, or chinch as we call it, Star of Bethlehem, so many names. This is a really long-lasting flower, and it comes in yellow, orange, and white. And the great thing about this is once it kind of goes through the arrangement that you have, it'll stay around. It keeps budding. Each of these little tiny green buds will open up into another flower, which is a really fun thing to have. I also have this nice H.Bloom. And it's got these really little yellow flowers kind of on the top of green little petals. And they're a really fun filler flower to kind of give that bold pop that you're looking for. Next I have yarrow. The color I have right here is orange, but it also comes in yellow, white, pink, red, a multitude of colors. And it's a really fun summer accent. We're getting into that time where these flowers are so special, and it's going to be a really great little filler. Next, I have this nice myrtle, which is a really great green. And if you smell it, it has this nice peppery scent. Sometimes if you roll it between your fingers, you can smell it a little bit better. And of course, I also have aspidistra leaves. Never leave home without them. So the vases I chose for today, this really fun small half moon vase. It's a really unique vase, and it's something that everyone loves. If you want to give a gift to someone, picking a vase like this says a lot more than just using anything random. Sometimes a cylinder can get boring, and this will mix it up. We also have a little tiny bud vase. I chose to have 6 roses today, and I like to do things in evens and odds, or in odds. So I'm going to use one of them for this. So to start off, I'm going to line my vase. The H.Bloom tends to get the water a little bit murky, so I want to make sure that the vase is nice and lined. So I just cut off the bottom of the stem. And I'm going to do a one-sided piece for this. So I don't need it to cover the entire back, but if you wanted to make this all around, you could do that as well. So first things first, I'm going to add my myrtle. And the great thing about this myrtle is that it has all these little laterals. It also has the wonderful scent, but I love the laterals because they give me so much more to work with. So I'm just taking off laterals and then pulling off the leaves. This isn't necessarily a very sharp greenery, so you shouldn't need to wear gloves, but it can never hurt to have soft hands later in life. So once I've kind of taken this guy apart, I'm just going to recut the stems. This is a nice woody stem, so make sure you have a sharp pair of clippers to do it. Sometimes with woody stems, I like to kind of split them at the base. It helps them to drink a little bit better. Of course, I have to make it the right height too. So with the half moon vase, you do run into a bit of a situation because it's not exactly level at the bottom, you kind of have to work with your flowers to make them work for you, which is what you have to do with any flower. So that's why I'm doing the myrtle first. I'm going to try to create a nice base for everything else to sit in. So I'm kind of concentrating my myrtle to one side. I want to create this nice shape And I want all my floral to be on one side, but there still to be a nice full accent. And doing that with the greenery just to one side really gives that nice look. There we go. You see, like just using greenery alone, it fills in an arrangement so much. A lot of people will say they don't like greenery, but when they see a piece that's done right with lots of greens and it's nice and lush, there's something about that that's just so beautiful. So now you'll see we have this really full, lush piece. Next, I'm going to take some more filler, this nice florals. You can see the little danglers for a bud vase if you would like. And this florals is also nice because it has so many laterals. I'm going to use them to their fullest potential. So I want this to just kind of be a romantic accent to my floral. So I'm going to fill this in on the other side that I don't have all the myrtle on. There we go. And always make sure that you take off the little leaves. You'll notice that if you're familiar with having a garden, the leaves on this look so much like a pea plant. It's kind of a fun little fact. I'll have to look it up to see if they are. So I'm just going to make this a nice wispy romantic side. That way when we put in our flowers, they really show. I'm also going to put a couple inside the greenery, just to give it a little more cohesion. Fun. There we go. Now we have kind of a wild situation going on. So we're going to kind of bring it all in and use our nice free spirits to do that. I'm leaving the greenery on again because I really want to go for that natural look. The best thing about garden roses, there's nothing more like home. It feels like you just picked them right out of your garden, which is exactly what I want for this. So nothing has to be perfect, of course. But I just like to make it feel like I kind of just had this growing on my hedge or something like that. It's just a fun way to make something more interesting. And of course, I always like to lower the roses that are closer to the rim. It gives them a much more focal look, and it draws your attention a little bit more. There we go. I'm just going to use 5 here. 3s, 5s, 7s, things like that look really well with roses. Of course, you can go with a dozen if you'd like. Cute. Now I'm going to add a little bit of my gallow. And I want this to just peek out from some of the roses, just to kind of fill in any gaps that I might have. Just kind of weave in and out of the roses. And as they grow, they'll really showcase their beautiful, long-lasting nature. You'll notice the more floral that you put in, the more put together your piece looks. So never expect when you start for it to look amazing the first second. The more you add, it's kind of like layering a sweater or something like that. Each little detail that you add just creates that big distinction. So now we have this beautiful chinch all throughout. And my statement, the yarrow. I'm going to take this and put this in a nice big group. Kind of right here in the middle. And this is just going to be that pop that I really want. It's a very romantic flower, almost Victorian. It feels like you could be walking through kind of a British garden or something, and you would just see these growing everywhere, which it is a really good filler flower for your garden as well. There we go. Just making sure everyone's nice and tight up front. Cute. Now, of course, I'm just going to take a little aspidistra leaf. I love to have that little accent. And I don't have a stapler today, but I'm just going to wire it into a nice little crease. So just twist a little bit. Create a nice little loop with a little flip as well. And then we can just add this right up front. Not detracting from anything we've done, but just a little highlight. And then I'm going to kind of layer the floral around it to make sure that everyone looks super cohesive. Really cute. Actually, we'll move this guy more up front. Much better. Great. So we have our large piece. This is something that I would do for a gift, maybe something like that. Finally, we'll move on to our nice bud vase. And since I didn't want to use the odd number of roses, or the even number of roses, I kind of saved this guy for last. It's perfect as a bud vase because when it's just a bud vase, you really focus on that particular varietal. This is going to make people want to smell it and see what's going on. So I'm just going to take off some of these leaves, and then I'm going to cut it really short. Still going to leave a little bit of a stem, but not too much. And then I'm just going to flip the sepals a little bit so that it opens a little more. So that it'll open just right at the edge, the rim of this. Perfect. And then I have a few little wisps. Why not? Just add a little dangler. It's always fun to have a little accent, whether it's lily grass or, a piece of myrtle. Keeps things from feeling ordinary. Just add a little sprig of myrtle behind it. Looks like a nice little garden. Great. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and welcome to summer. We'll see you next week. Thank you.